Lightworkers, if your social media doesn't feel like it's a portal to your soulmate audience, we need to talk because you should literally be feeling as though every time you post on social media that you have people telling you that there's synchronicities, that the universe sent you, and all these magical things. And if you're not feeling that in your social media, you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to give you a few tips behind this, and I'm going to also explain to you why this isn't happening, how you can get this to happen, and whatnot. Because your social media should literally be a portal. And if it's not, we get to open that portal together today. So for those that don't know me, my name is Lily, and I lead Lightworkers to soulmate clients. And I want to see if I can pop off. I literally have a client that just called me the other day, and she's like, oh my God, this is that explosion moment you've been talking about. She's going through it right now. She literally just made 10K in cash in 5 days. And that's not including all the recurring revenue that she's getting from this, from a 3-month group program she's selling. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the social media magic formula. This is seriously like what turns up the dial on your social media, because what's happening right now is you're not knowing how to speak to your soulmate audience's soul. You may be speaking to the wrong audience or not quite like knowing how to access them. And we're going to get into that today. So there was a period of time in my business where I felt like I was chasing, I was doing all the things I could to serve people, but I literally was making like $1,000 a month. And this went on for about a year. This was a long year, just me pushing, trying. I pretty much was doing the same things. I didn't understand that there was some energetic foundations that were wanting to be set. And so luckily, the universe pretty much had me up against the wall. Like, okay, something's got to shift. And what I realized was that I was being called to a really unique soulmate client audience that is different than the way that anyone talks to this audience on the internet. And so when I started to surrender into this, and I had some feelings around how limiting it felt and all these things, when I surrendered into this and then had some other key foundations I'm going to get into in a minute that tweaked at the same time, what happened was it built up to this moment where suddenly the floodgates opened. It literally was like an energetic surge in my body. And suddenly I had people telling me the universe sent me to their timeline, the TikTok gods, the Instagram gods, like so many people all of a sudden. And I went from never selling a spot in my group program to selling it out and then double selling it the next time I ran it. This is the magic of this formula. And I can't wait to tell you guys about it because it literally makes me giggle how magical it is. Like, you should be feeling like every time you open your social media up, some crazy synchronicity happens. Like, people are like, oh my God, I'm supposed to work with you. And you should even be having people like jump into your programs without really having talked to you, because there should be such a layer of this soulmate client trust built, because when the universe places you for people, that is when so much trust is built that they don't even necessarily need to know you for a super long amount of time. Like, they're just going to know that you have what they need to go to where they need to go, and they're going to trust that. And coming from the other side of it, where I've been in these situations where I found mentors, or just not even like business mentors, but dating, health, all these things, like every time these synchronicities. And so you're going to be able to enact this through the social media magic formula. This is a 6-step formula, and I'm actually teaching a workshop on this in the upcoming week. So if you're seeing this video now, you're in luck. I'm going to put the link in my bio for that. It's a $67 workshop that's going to give you these foundations that literally have led this current client to an explosion moment. I've seen this happen for other clients as well, but this is one that's happening right now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about like what's going on, what needs to shift, how you're going to tap into this like magic front. Because what's happening right now is that you have a soulmate audience that you have not tapped into. And there's also some nuances in terms of energetics and also just the way that you're speaking online. So when you tap into your destined soulmate client audience, you are going to feel such a big shift in these synchronicities. But at the same time, you need to know how to speak to their soul. And this is the biggest part of social media magic. You have to ask the right questions. I'm going to give you some of those in a little bit. You have to ask the right questions. You have to like know how to angle it and know how to speak to the clients that are ready to work with you now. Over your business, you are going to attract people to your page that, maybe jump in years down the road. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But we really want to focus on the clients that are like ready right now, because they're the ones that you're not going to have to like feel like you're chasing down to get in your service, even if they are the ones that want to be in your service. So I am going to pull up the formula and give you a little bit of this, but a lot of the formula has to do with energetics and wealth mindset, because this is like such a core foundation. So if you feel like you're going onto your social media and you don't have the best mindset, I make a rule of thumb that if I'm moving through something emotionally, that might be a day where I don't really touch social media as much. Or I really shift it. Like I'm always making sure I'm going to, like, if I'm DMing people and stuff like that, that I'm coming from like a really pure and clean energy state. And that can be challenging depending on where you're at in your business timeline. But your energy in when you're doing your writing and all your things is really going to come off. Even if you feel like you're writing from a grounded place, if you're not in a grounded place, people can kind of feel that. So that's first like what I want to put out here. Some of the other big parts of this is speaking to your really specific soulmate client audience and avatar. You need to be speaking as if you're speaking to one person and like speaking to them like they're a main character. That's what I call in my butterfly effect program, main character messaging. Like you need to be speaking and summoning them as if they're the main character. And people are going to like really feel this. And so you need to not only speak to this specific soulmate audience, but also speak to them in a way that activates them. So getting really down into the nuances and the nitty gritty is so big. But then the biggest parts of tying this all together is going to be connecting to your guides, connecting to, the divine, and like in meditation, asking for intuitive guidance on how to reach your people. So the cool part about this is it's not always going to be online. Sometimes I'll get nudges of like, go to this event, boom, clients. I actually met 4 clients once, like lifelong clients at an event that I went to. And so that's the magic of this, is sometimes it will lead you outside of social media, but also it's going to, when you tap into your channel, it is going to help lead you and know how to speak to the people on social media. And you're going to do this by asking for certain keywords throughout the week. And so this is a really, really powerful way to literally connect with what your soulmate audience needs to hear, like every time you post. And you're going to literally have people be like, oh shit, this is going to activate them in such a powerful way, because the way that you frame your messaging, and I'm all for messaging frameworks, this is super, super, super big. But that being said, those are nothing without this tying together, especially for my light workers. So this is really key. Another key piece of this formula, and my window just got messed up, so I'm coming back out. If you made it this far, I'm so freaking glad you're here, because holy shit. You also need to get really tangible in where you're leading people. Light workers, I know how that feels when you first hear it, like you're a multi-dimensional being. You're like, what? I want to like help all these people and do all these things. And I get it. But if you're watching this video, it's because you're looking to tap into magic, and you're going to do that by getting really specific. I want you to think of it as if you're manifesting a partner. That's how you're going to manifest your clients. Because think about it, when you start getting really clear in manifesting a partner, you start to see yourself dating more. And yes, it's different because your clients are going to build and build and build over time, and you get to help all these people. But that being said, the more specific you get, the more specific where you're leading them. Getting specific on the outcome is you being a trailblazer, by the way. A lot of times people hear this and they're like, oh, I have to pick a tangible outcome. Like that feels like a chore. That feels hard. That feels like limiting. This is you claiming your identity as a trailblazer. And you get to pick the outcome that serves you the most. I literally have done like hundreds and hundreds of intuitive readings. And when I was doing these, I realized that I did not feel lit up by every single reading. I mostly felt lit up and felt like kind of pings when I had light workers who were coming to me to understand what they were feeling. I have people to this day who are still soulmate clients in my community who I met during this period of time because they came to me for these readings. And those were the nudges I needed to really sink down to where I was supposed to lead people. And so this is something we're really getting into in social media magic. And there's even a VIP option for those that are really looking to implement this and like get that deep, deep clarity. So for those that are feeling the nudges around this formula, you literally have an ability to access this formula literally within the next week for literally $67. So I'm going to put that formula below. And this is a really, really, really powerful way to create your timeline into a magic masterpiece. You should be opening your phone every day to subscribers, people binging your content, and all this really important stuff. I actually looked with my VA today and we looked at my YouTube watch rate. It's literally insane, guys. Like, and this is because people come and they binge because they're actually getting stuff out of my content. I've had people implement these types of things and then explode. So imagine when you actually join one of these spaces, like how much can change. Joining this workshop is going to be such a really good way to start to get your feet wet in this world, in the metamorphosis community. And I'm so excited to have you guys. So I love you.